Yeah, I did it. Hey guys, it's Nancy, Pick of the Picks, and sorry for the awkward angle. It's like the best I can do, where I can hold it up, self-supporting, so I can play into it. I think this one's gonna kind of be some tips for auditioning, because I myself have I don't know if you can read it, because it's like fluorescent. It's an offshore audition music, and it's 3 pages, complete with octave jumps, segues, and like a whole bunch of slurs and stuff. But I thought I'd like play a little and like help you guys do this and like begin on it. So I guess it's kind of like a sight reading thing too. But it's kind of like just to show you what I personally do when I go to play or like sight read, or when I start the process of getting up to the audition point. I have until like the middle of January to get this done, so I have quite a few months, considering I've had this since like October or something, like mid-October. Well, I first was given it, and I'm not gonna lie, the first thing I did was I went through, like you'll see it, I highlighted all my accidentals, yellow. This one doesn't have many. I highlighted all the dynamics, purple. I even like wrote in some. I highlighted my Segu and my DSL Fine green and my Fermatas. This one has a lot. That, whatever you want to call that, it's like, I don't know, the mini ones. And all my key changes, and I noted octave jumps, and I wrote in some like problem areas that I thought I might have. First thing I looked at was, another thing you always want to look at is your key signature. This one, I want to say I am in F, key of F. Yeah, I'm in the key of F for that one. And the other one, it's the key of, gotta find which one I wrote it in. It's the key of G. So you do that, and you like, I highlighted all my repeats. I'm pointing to this so you guys can't see it. I highlighted all my repeats. But you want to look at your key signature, see if there are any changes, note any accidentals. Another thing you want to look at is your time signature. This one's 2-4, and then it stays that throughout the whole thing. That's another good thing. You want to check to see if it stays that. This one, it's common and cut time, which is really weird because I've never seen that. And it basically was saying like it can be done either way, and it's your choice. I chose common because I'm not stupid and I'm not going to do cut time. But it might get to the point where you start at common and then I'll go on to cut time. So that's like, it's kind of personal decision for that. Another thing I noted was that I don't have to focus on the bottom, because when I read, sometimes I'll look at the bottom, see if they're playing with me or something like that. So you write like little reminders like that, and like I wrote, oh, sugar, I don't know if I can see it, not so long right there, right here, because I noticed like the rest were runs, and then it's that, and so in my mind I want to play that really long, but you need to note that. Also, search up any weird things, like Segu. It gave me Segu. S-E-G-U-E. Right there. It says, after first DS, Segu to next section. I had no idea what that was. I'm not gonna lie. I have never seen the say you in my whole life, and I've been playing for 10 years now. So you gotta look up that. And it turns out it just meant like continue on to the next section without stopping, which it makes sense. Definitely this is a really weird piece, but you gotta look out for it because they will try to pull trick things like that. Like it has DS Sol Fine, and like there's the DS, there's the Fine, but then it repeats twice, both up here DS Sol Fine, and then of course at the bottom DS Sol Fine. So you gotta go back to there. But it's just mostly you want to look at these different things, or like if you have issues with counting like I do your little and to and. Like whatever, it's kind of personal. Like whatever you might need help with. And to and. Another thing different, like all shore, all county, all state things will tell you to do is memorize your scales. Which I just found out I had to do it for this one too. But normally I'm used to having it where you have your music. You don't. So you have to memorize it, and they'll say play a G scale, and you have to know, oh, it's only one flat or one sharp. Normally, which I'm guessing this is what it is, so I've never seen them pick any weird ones. This is and arpeggios. There's without arpeggios. Here we go. It'll do 4 sharps and higher. It's like my E, 4 sharps, so all these. And then 5 flats. Or not 5 flats. I'm reading the wrong one, I'm sorry. 4 flats. So A flat, E flat. And they may or may not ask for chromatic. So practice that chromatic scale. This is just the book my school uses. It might be different. You can always Google it. Google Images will show you it. So that's another thing. I'll probably post another updated scales video. And also check and see what instrument they want you to play. My old, back when I did all county, they only wanted flute. Here, for all shore, it's flute and piccolo. But it's not one audition, you have to do it twice. So make sure you have both instruments with you. Another thing that I was told and it helped me get it is that you really work on dynamics. It's something everybody forgets and leaves out. But if you hit dynamics, it'll put you that one step up. Definitely, like, sure, you want to make sure you have the right notes and the right keys, but you want to make sure you have dynamics. And like if it says to slur, slur it. If it says staccato, staccato. Another thing you could work on is maybe add some vibrato. Play with style. Add some vibrato if you think it's a slower piece and it sounds pretty. Add vibrato if you think it's faster and you think certain things should be played staccato. Play with style. I mean, they may not personally like it, but they'll appreciate that you do know how to do it. At least, like I said, it might differ in your area, but back where I used to live, it was like playing with style was one of the major things. If you could play with style, you were guaranteed a spot. Like, I literally got the music 2 days before the audition. I literally stayed after school both of those days and worked on it. And it was really challenging, like much challenging than what I have now. And I made 13 out of 14th chair. Granted, it's not as high as you can get. It's not where I could have gone if I had the music earlier. But it was more like a last minute thing. And literally I asked my director what can I do where I know I'll get in, viewing that I've had it for so little time. She told me to play with style, dynamics, and just really focus on getting into the music and not reading it. It's a whole different thing to read it and to get into your music. To get into the music, you realize, okay, I'm playing with it. I'm part of the music. I am making this glorious thing. Like, getting into it it's undescribable. It's like, you know, this is in your heart. This is how it's supposed to be played. This is how it's supposed to sound like. And reading it's just, it sounds very bland. You're just reading it. So, I mean, sorry to get philosophical there, but it's what helped me. And like I said, it was 13 out of 14. It wasn't that high, but I still beat out a good 20 other people. I still made it above that one person. It's not the wanted, desired seat, but it was still much better than what, viewing the circumstances, that it could have been. Another thing, just ask your director if they have any spare time. Ask, can we stay after this day? If we have time early in class, can we work on this? Can I come in during my lunch and work on this? My director, he's constantly like, go ahead, come in at lunch, or even during regular class, he's like, if you want to work on it, go to the practice room, go work on that. And he'll stay after for a good half an hour sometimes with different people working on all short, all state music. So it's really just ask your director and really ask them, like, what's this? Any questions? What's the tempo? What is this? Like, how is this to be played? Is this accidental, like, okay? Or how do I play that? Or can you work with me? Like, just really don't be afraid to ask questions. They want you in it just as bad as you want to be in it. Because, I mean, it looks good on not only your college resume or high school transcripts. It looks good for the director. He's like, hey, I got 14 kids in there. Almost half of that band's my kids. I have the better band. Like, they want you in it just as bad as you do. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to spend some nice quality time with your director. And ask upperclassmen. I remember when I had one of my first auditions for an all-county, I asked I think she was a junior that year, but I asked an upperclassman, I was like, any tips? Help me with this. I don't want to fail. I don't want to not bomb this audition. And those few little tips and that pep talk she gave me honestly helped me. It put me through, and I think I got 10th chair that year. 10 out of 25 that year. They asked for a lot of flutes that year. But it helps. It pays to ask. It pays to talk around. Whoa, my hair's going everywhere. But it pays to just not be so little. I guess that's the best way I can think of. Not be like that little freshman. Ask around. Don't be afraid. Be fearless when playing. I didn't really play much. Anywho, I think I'm going to have an updated scales video, which you will hopefully see soon. And I love you guys. Toodaloo, lovelies. How do I turn this? There you go. Click. Oh, shoot.